And how's everybody doing this Saturday? I'm having a good Saturday. Just finished working on some taxes, things like that. So getting a little bit of a late start. I have been studying some today though, and it's been interesting. Very interesting developments in my QoS studies. Got a change coming up, and I'm going to mention that in a moment here. The title of this, Finding Which Book to Use for CCIE Routing and Switching. The reason I'm leading with that title is because it's a situation or scenario I came across today, and I actually thought about, all right, I need another resource for studying QoS, and I'm about to get into that, but I thought, well, where should I start? And I thought about pinging some people in maybe Router Gods or in the Discord here. And then I thought, you know what? I read in Network Lessons, I read in the CCIE Routing and Switching course that there's a recommended reading list there. I know INE has a reading list. And one of the videos of the INE course, Brian McGann actually goes over his reading list and that he recommends, and he has it laid out in a couple of videos. It's not really easily accessible. Like, you have to open the video and kind of fast forward. Again, the INE, has the workbook, the lab workbook, and they have videos, but they don't really have written lessons per se. Some of that is in the workbooks, and I want to talk about that a little bit as well in a moment. But Network Lessons has that, right? And it has a written out list of recommended books. And I thought, well, let me see what's recommended in there by Renee Molinar for QoS. Which book or books does he recommend? And it turns out, and sometimes I check this on Network Lessons and INE, I'll check and see, is this link available to the public, or is it behind a login paywall? And this particular list, turns out, is publicly available. So I'm going to check it again just to be sure, because what I did is I closed my browser, I logged out. I'm going to open and so I just opened a private window. Yeah, so see, it's prompted me to log in, start my trial. But you'll notice, and this is cool, and I'm going to check this more often because there might be more material like this that I can share. But notice this is part of the CCIE Routing and Switching course, and it has a reading list here. I'm sure if you select, for example, quality of service, you'll get so far, and then it's going to say, hey, the rest is for members only, right? It does not say that here under preparation reading list, which is cool. Probably because it's short. So here is a reading list, folks. And of course, there is one I have a reading list as well. A lot of it is going to be based on this, but it's, sometimes these courses will provide you more books than what you may actually use. So you've got this list available, but there's also a list that of books that I have for sure used and read. And I forget what that command is. You always have that one as well, too. Let's see what that command is. Books, yeah. So this is my list, and I have actually updated it too. Oh yeah, I forgot these gists. They do not. Okay, I need to update this command because the gists do not contain the updates. It's a one-time. Oh no, that's incorrect. I just have not pushed the changes, the git changes. Let me do that real quick. And you will watch the magical power of git before your eyes. Git notes. Yeah, so this is a remote copy of the repo. Let me see, git status. Okay, yeah, I've updated this and I've updated the book list. So we'll commit the changes, updated book list and blueprint topics. Git push. And let's do a refresh on this. Okay. You reload this page. This is for my notes, right? Yeah, notes, master. Oh, this is yeah, this is GitHub user content. And it should show, did I save it? Let's see. So I'm going to go to my notes. This is a local copy of the repo. I have book list. Yeah, see, I have updated it. And I added QoS. I've now pushed that to the repo. And it should show that in the repo here. Let's do this again. View, reload this page. All right, let me load it in another browser here. Why is this not updating this? Book list, did I rename it or something? Sorry folks, bear with me one moment here. I'm saying, let me show you the power of Git, and it's supposed to just update this stuff. All right, GitHub. Maybe it takes a minute to like update the raw link. All right, this shows the update. Let me see raw. Yeah, it's just probably a sync thing. But the actual, if you were like, if you did a pull on this repo right now, it would have the updated. But the raw, for some reason, is a little delayed. That's fine. Anyway, this has a nice. Now, this does appear to me, I will say. Again, that's why I provide my link as well. Take it all with a grain of salt. You have to decide, right? It's all on you. But I will say that aside from this book here, which I took a look at online and decided not to buy, it does have, it is all pretty much the official, or they're all Cisco books. But in here, I found, thank you, Renee, I found your recommendation on QoS. And that's the book I went to. In the past, for example, when I was studying BGP, I would throw out a question to some of the forums, or I'd ask people, you know, what did you use to study BGP? Which is your go-to book on BGP? Don't you have Safari Online, bro? I do, and in fact, that's what I'm using now. Good to see you, Network, bro. Glad. Thanks for checking in, man. Good to see you in the chat, my friend. I do. This book, however, so of all these books, pretty much all of these you can get on Safari Books Online, and that's what I'm doing with QoS. I'm reading it on Safari Books Online, but this book here is an interesting book that is not on Safari Books Online. Just the first one, I think. But it's Your CCIE Lab Success Strategy, and it's a book on how to, as you can see here, this it's a difficult, time-consuming, and sometimes a personal struggle. It would take a lot of your personal time and study, so you need a battle plan. This helps you put together your plan. So it's not technical. And someone wrote it, and it looks like an interesting book. Maybe if I was starting, I might have written, purchased this. And I may have even looked for a used copy. But these are from double CCIEs. So, and Renee Molinar actually recommends the book. So it's probably good, but, I'm already way in it. And it was written in 2012, so there'd be some things not current. But where and how do I start preparing? How much time do I need to prepare? What are the do's and don'ts? Yeah, what do I need to do? 3 months, 3 weeks, and the day before the lab. So good stuff in here. Interesting to see that someone actually wrote a book on it. So I would be curious to see if someone who is starting out the CCIE, oh, there is a used copy for 20 bucks. In this guidebook, we share stories and stories of many successful CCIEs with you. Cover over 30 topics. Now, bro, enjoying this Orlando weather at the pool. Lol, nice, man. Yeah, I have the first book on my wish list. It doesn't get too technical. I just overlook things like getting rest, getting family support, etc. Yeah, very true. It does appear to be non-technical, very casual. So, yeah, it's like a battle plan, I guess. Nice, man. Nice that you're by the pool. It is such beautiful weather right now in Orlando. This is like perfect weather time. So yeah, it has been really nice. So anyway, that's a cool new list that's available. I didn't realize no longer was required, so this is something I can now definitely recommend. New approach. So this is why the stream today is just going to be a vlog. After the first QoS lab, I struggled. Well, the second QoS lab. The first QoS lab wasn't too bad. So I'm basically writing on information, knowledge that I learned while preparing for the written exam. And first one was somewhat of a breeze. I talked here a little bit about having a lack of continuity between the INE workbook, lab workbook, the network lessons, videos, and all that material. So I don't know, I was a little bit like a ship lost at sea. So I thought, you know what, I need to reset here. I'm floundering. I need a little bit more of a methodical method here. This morning, I actually started chewing on the next policing lab. It's a hierarchical policing. And I'm like, you know what, I got to do some reading. I got to do some good old-fashioned reading on this. So that's when I started looking for a book. And then I thought, you know what? One cool thing about the official certification guides, at least most of them I've seen this format. And for example, I have one open here. This is one that Renee recommended, and so far I really like. Cisco QoS Exam Certification Guide. It says IP Telephony Self-Study, 2nd edition, and as Renee says, this is geared towards the what is now called, I think, collaboration exam. So it's geared towards that, but it is well done so far. And I hit the first chapter, and in the first chapter, and a lot of these official certification exams, it will have a quiz. And the quiz is supposed to tell you, okay, let's assess your knowledge. Let's see if 1, you should read this entire chapter, or 2, you can skip through just some of the information that you're lacking, or 3, you're fine. You can basically skip this chapter altogether. And that depends on your score. Let me see if I can show just that part. Because I think many of the official certification exams will do this. The official certification exam guides, aka books. So if I go to, yeah, there's a QoS overview. I'll wait for it to come up here for just a second. So I took this assessment. I did a self-assessment, and I thought, man, I should probably start from the beginning. Yeah, there's a do I already know this quiz? Do I know this already? And I did okay, but it says here, like it'll say, you know, if you get an 8 or less overall score, read the entire chapter. 9 or 10, if you want more review, skip to the foundation summary and then go to the Q&A section. Otherwise, just proceed to the next chapter. So I got through a number of the questions and I was like, you know what? I just need to start from the beginning. I know I've passed the pertinent sections in the written exam, but if I'm going to start labbing this stuff, I'm just going to go through, and this is going to now be my sort of guide for each section. And after I finish, there are, I mean, it doesn't look like an extremely long book, which is fine. There are 10 chapters. And I'm currently on, I think I'm still on QoS Overview. Then there's QoS Tools and Architectures, and then Classification and Marking, which I've done a lab on already. But then it gets to Congestion Management in Chapter 5. So basically, when I get to that chapter, then I'll feel, after I review that chapter, and I'm going to go through the whole book, I think, at least at this point, depending on how I do on the assessments. And when I get to Congestion Management, then I will go and do the labs related to Congestion Management. And you know, I'll do it that way until I get through it. But yeah, I was floundering too much, folks. And I know when I'm floundering, I know when I'm struggling. And that's when I just said, okay, we got to stop this madness right here. That is one thing I've learned from the written fails and from past fails is, you know, you got to be honest with yourself. And if you're not, you know, hitting the right notes, it's time to go back and do some basics. So I was hoping to be, you know, pretty much going through this phase right now, pretty much hitting the labs and just knocking them out one after the other. But we're going to take a little time with QoS. And I figured that would happen. I did chat a little bit with Show IP Interface Brief, Tony E., and we were just chatting a little bit in Discord. And I think we're going to do sort of a session tomorrow. We're going to review between ourselves. We're going to try to bolster our understanding of the policing, the one lab that, you know, I did the other day, and we're going to play with that a little bit ourselves and just kind of check in. So because that's what's cool, at least we're kind of both in this. He's got a lab coming up April 2nd, but I know this is a tough, can be a tough area, so we're going to take our time. We're going to get it, you know, thorough. And we're going to become an expert on this. That's my intention anyway. So, yeah, great. I think it's a good sort of little mini reset on QoS right here at the beginning of this part of the workbook. So no labs today, unfortunately, but I can share this CCIE routing switch reading list. And I'm just going to say that maybe as early as tomorrow, but don't expect it. So it might be like early next week before we'll be ready to be back in the workbook and doing labs here on stream. But of course, no matter what, every day I'll be checking in with you folks and blogging the journey, letting you know how things are going, or any new cool links I learn about, or new tools, or anything like that, or any cool experiences. We'll be sharing those. But I want to thank everyone for stopping in and checking out the stream. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch. You can also, if you have a Amazon Prime account, you get one free Twitch Prime account a month that you renew once a month. Would love for you to use it here. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Thanks so much for stopping in, folks. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you back here tomorrow on the Land Tamer stream. Good bits, y'all.